Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here coming at you from the Knife Center, and today we're taking a look at two of the best lightweight American-made EDC pocket knives on the market in 2020. It's the Benchmade Bugout versus the Hogue Deka. Let's do this. So starting at $127.50 at this point in time, the Bugout was originally envisioned as an ultralight outdoor knife, coming in at an impressively light 1.8 ounces. Now, despite that intended mission, this design actually quickly became an EDC standard for a lot of folks, thanks to its slim construction, very efficient blade, and the light weight that makes it a clip it and forget it type of knife. The Deka is just a little bit more, starts just over $140 right now, and was named in honor of the 10th anniversary of Hogue's knife-making operation. Now, it's not quite as lightweight at 2.5 ounces, but that's only by comparison to the Bugout. 2.5 is still a virtually unnoticeable amount of weight in your pocket. Hogue did go more premium with the appointments on the Deka, but the similarities to the Bugout are striking. They look different to be sure, but the size, the features, locking mechanism, and even the price, after all, less than $13 separate the base models at this point, makes them an obvious competitor with each other. And at the core of each of these knives is a crossbar locking mechanism. Benchmade has the Axis lock, which set the standard for the genre, and Hogue calls theirs the Able lock, which is ambidextrous bar lock enhanced, and they're definitely gunning for Benchmade with their execution. Now, the advantages to this style of lock are many. For one, it's completely ambidextrous, as that bar runs through both sides of the handle and over the tang of the blade. Second is a feature I rate very highly in a pocket knife: your fingers don't cross the path of the blade when you're closing the knife. It adds an extra level of inherent safety to the design. And third, it's the action that this type of lock gives us. You can simply hold that lock bar back, and you can wrist flick the blade open or close, which makes accessing the blade rapid and convenient. It's very easy to pull out the knife, flick it open, make your cut, flick it closed, and then repocket it all with just one hand. Now, both of these knives do feature thumb studs if you'd rather be a little more deliberate in your opening action rather than flicking it out. And as you can see, the Bugout hugs the handle a little bit closer, keeping it out of the way of the cutting edge more so than the Deka. Now, I am a big fan of Benchmade's Axis lock. I've carried many Axis lock equipped knives over the years. I will say though that right out of the box, sometimes they do need a little bit of breaking in before they smooth out. Whereas with all the Hogues I've handled, they've all had phenomenal action from day one. All right, enough about the lock though, let's take a look at the blades themselves. Each comes in about 3¼ inches, and they're very thin, with blade stock sitting right around 3/32 of an inch. Now technically the Bugout is just a hair thinner at 0.087 versus 0.095 for the Hogue, but you're gonna need calipers to actually tell the difference. By eye, they do look the same. Now we get two different blade shapes with the Deka, but only one for the Bugout, and that's this classically proportioned drop point blade. The steel is S30V, which gives you a good amount of edge retention, and you can get it in two different finishes, each one matched to a specific handle color. The original model comes with a blue handle and a satin finished blade, although I will say that even though they call it satin, it does have just a hint of a stonewashed texture to it, which I think looks better over time. As you use the blade and it starts to pick up some scratches, that stonewashed texture is going to help to minimize their appearance so your blade looks fresher longer. You can also get a smoked gray chromium nitride coated blade, which pairs to a Ranger green handle, and it gives a less flashy look overall. Both colors are available with a plain edge or with partial serrations if you want that more aggressive cutting action. For me, I'll take the plain edge every day of the week. There is a third finish option too, but I'm actually going to get to that a little bit later. Now the Deka, meanwhile, reaches more premium with its blade material. They use CPM 20 CV, which should hold an edge even longer. For the two blade options, we're going to start with the modified Wharncliffe profile, shown here with a black Cerakote finish. It's a great utility shape overall. You've got a nice tip here for scoring or piercing, and since it's got virtually no belly to the edge itself, it's even less likely to slip out of a cut, making it a very aggressive cutter. Now this knife is plain edge only at this time. There's no Deka with partial serrations yet, and we get some compound grinds to keep things interesting visually, and it's even got a small thumb ramp on the blade itself with a bit of jimping for more traction. Now the Bugout, of course, does not have a thumb ramp, but there is a little bit of jimping on the thumb area of the handle itself, and that gives you that little bit of extra traction and lets them maintain a clean spine profile overall. Back to the Deka though, it's the clip point blade shape that compares more evenly with the Bugout, and it's probably going to be the preferred choice for a general purpose everyday carry blade. It's got a flat grind just like the Bugout, but the angle is shallower. You can see that the top of the grind is not as high up on the blade with the Deka as it is on the Bugout. Now that's not to say that the Deka is not an efficient cutter, but for outright slicing ability, the Bugout's geometry takes the crown. Now to compensate for that, Hogue really brings their A game to their factory edges. In fact, they do my favorite factory edges in the industry right now, at least in terms of production knives. It's definitely more refined, a little less toothy than the Bugout with a higher polish and even a hint of convex to the edge itself, which is very nice. The other thing they do to help with the efficiency of the blade is a full-length swedge on both of the blade shapes that you can get, which relieves drag along the spine, helping with curving cuts. Now the Bugout does also have a swedge, but it's only towards the tip that it comes into play, so it's going to provide a little less benefit when taken as a whole. Now as far as handle material, again Hogue went a bit more premium, using various G10 color options. Gives the handles more strength, but also a little bit more weight than the Grivery that Benchmade uses on the Bugout. Now that's not to say that Grivery is not durable. It does the job quite well, but some out there aren't going to like the plasticky feel or the fact that you can flex the handles a little if you squeeze them. Now there is another upgraded Bugout model though, and that uses a new material called CF Elite instead of Grivery. It's actually a carbon fiber reinforced nylon that's both lighter than Grivery and impressively stronger at the same time. And that version comes with a black DLC coated blade, which is the other blade finish option I mentioned earlier. Now, I'm not sure how CF Elite's strength compares to G10 on a scientific scale, but I'd wager that the Deka's handle is still going to be a little bit more durable. Now the Bugouts are a little bit limited in their color choices at this time, with just the blue, the Ranger Green, and the CF Elite right now in the regular lineup. Although for the present time at least, my favorite is easily the red Battle Wash variant, which is a KnifeCenter exclusive. That's the version I EDC myself, but these are probably going to become collectible at some point. Now the Deka doesn't have the broadest selection of colors available, but they do have just a few more options, and they went kind of cheeky with a few of their color choices, in a way kind of shadowing the Bugouts and really begging the comparison. Here I've got a G-Mascus blue lava pattern G10 and a green G-Mascus. And just take a look at them next to the standard Bugouts and you'll see what I mean. Right now though, there's also a flat black G10 option as well as a flat dark earth G-Mascus too. Now as far as the feel in the hand, both handles are very thin and pocketable, whereas 0.4 inches thick on the Bugout and 0.43 inches on the Deka. Now, that may not sound like that big of a difference, but the Bugout actually feels significantly thinner because the handle itself is radiused and that measurement is at the widest point. Meanwhile, the Hogue is a bit more slab-sided in its nature and it offers a bit more when you need it in a heavy grip. Now the trade-off for that is just a little bit less agility. The Bugout actually feels slightly more nimble in the hand. Now the overall lengths of these knives are virtually the same, but the Bugout does have a little bit more effective handle length thanks to the very shallow curve at the index finger and a more neutral shape overall. My hands sit just slightly on the large side and I can easily get a 4-finger grip on the Bugout. The Hogue, however, is more of a 3.5 finger grip for me if I hold it where the slightly more abrupt index finger guard says that I should. Now thanks to that shape, it also pushes your index finger a little farther away from the edge, but it does also give you a little more protection from forward slippage in the process as well. And for me, if I do need a little more grip on the Deka, it's real easy enough to just choke forward a little bit and put my finger over the guard itself, but it is one more step to think about. Now, one thing both designs have in common is open-backed construction, which makes it easy to keep the knives clean of lint or other debris. They've also both got lanyard holes, although the Bugout is a little bit larger, as you can see. Each also comes with a pocket clip. The Benchmade comes drilled on both sides of the handle with a common 3-hole pattern, and that means there's plenty of aftermarket options if you want to upgrade it from the, in my opinion, excellent mini deep carry clip that is installed out of the box. It carries the knife securely and unobtrusively, and it features a black oxide finish which is going to wear nicely over time. The Hogue is also drilled on both sides, and it uses a simpler proprietary clip which is non-deep carry, and it's going to match the blade finish. I definitely prefer the stonewash here as opposed to the black clip, as the black does stand a chance of getting chips or flakes off of it over time, but some folks out there like that look, so to each their own. Now the clip is actually inset into a milled pocket on the G10, and they provide a small plate with extra screws for the opposite side to hide that pocket. Not only does that create a little bit of a fancier look for some, but also, hey, you've got some extra screws just in case at the same time. Finally, we come to the build quality. Now both are very good and proudly made in the USA too, which is nice. But in terms of outright fit and finish, I've got to give it to the Hogue. There's just a feel of more precision when you operate the Deka, from the nicer factory edge to the tuning of the lock bar to the sturdier feel of the materials. Now please don't take this as me dogging on the Bugout. Like I said, both are very good. The Deka's just got a little bit extra when you put it in your hand. So now the only thing left to do is hear your thoughts. Do you go with the slightly more affordable and lighter Benchmade Bugout? Or would you take the more premium materials that come with the Hogue Deka? As for me, it's kind of a toss-up. While I think I prefer the design of the Bugout a little bit more, the Deka's not far behind on that front, and the upgrades that come for not much more money are very compelling. Be sure to chime in your thoughts below in the comments, and if you want to get your hands on one of these knives, we will leave links in the description that'll take you over to KnifeCenter.com. And make sure you're signed up for our Knife Rewards program while you're there, because if you're going to buy one of these cool knives, you might as well earn some free money to spend on your next one. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center signing off. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you aren't already. I'll see you next time.